In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Togi Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd. And Robin, we're just 1 week away from school starting out here, and I'm counting the days.
Our kids start this Thursday. So a walk around the neighborhood last night, it was just this diverse bunch of emotions. Some of the moms were sad. Some of the moms were ecstatic. Some of the kids were sad. Some of the kids were ecstatic. It's kind of fun that, there's so many anxious to get back to school.
Well, there used to be that Staples commercial that the guy was going down buying the school supplies and they sang that Christmas song. It's like, it's the most wonderful time of the year.
I know. And it's true. And then there was another, there's been a couple of them, but I know last year's Target ads were a riot, and this year they did the same flavor, but I don't find them quite as fun. But nonetheless, I think it's great that they're all just making it all the more fun for the kids to go back.
There's so much fun stuff. I mean, it's like I buy it all for my office. I buy, the silly school supplies because they're so much fun. They're so much more fun. I just remember getting excited over, colored pencils. And now, they have every single, SpongeBob, Dora, Skulls, you name it. There's so many things available for the kids to do that are so much fun. And honest to God, Rob, I have them all over my office. I go shopping for me and the kids.
Well, I was in that aisle this afternoon myself, as a matter of fact. I think what's hard is that they send out those lists. And once the kids get that list, they feel it's the obligatory list that you have to have every single thing on the list. And it can be a little challenging because I know if you've got 3 or 4 kids, man, that's a lot of money.
It is. It is. And even if you go to Walmart with the 25-cent packs of crayons, there's just sometimes the teachers put stuff on that I'm not sure what it is, or I can't find it, or it's not the right one when you get to school, and that's really frustrating.
I can remember even years ago when my kids were still in school, and you'd buy the 3-ring binder thing, the Trapper Keeper, whatever they were called back then, and then the kids would go to school and realize, they're not allowed to have this, they're supposed to have that for whatever reason. That really gets hard when school districts really impose real restrictions on what the kids can have. I know there was one year that they had restrictions on certain types of backpacks because the kids would leave them kind of in the aisles between the desks, and it actually would pose a fire hazard.
Oh.
Yeah, and now with some of the schools cutting back as far as some of their budgetary cutbacks, I noticed in some of our high schools, for example, the classrooms are having more and more students, upwards of the almost exceeding what our state regulation is. So when you've got 35 kids in a classroom and there's a fire alarm, that's really tough for those kids to be tripping over all those possessions and bags and what all that they've got that they're dragging around with them. So
some of our schools don't have lockers anymore. In my district, we don't have lockers. So you have to carry everything, and they carry these rolling backpacks, which are really expensive.
Of course they are, but they're a fire hazard. If you've got stairways, I know our high school has multiple buildings and, of course, multiple stairs. You've got those things up and downstairs, and it really does present a problem. So it might be easier than carrying 35 pounds of books, but I really like some of these districts that are experimenting with issuing one, either a Kindle or a whatever. All of the textbooks are loaded onto it. If you have to sign out a history book, a calculus book, and a literature book, you're talking a couple of $100 right there that the parent is liable. So why not be liable for the Kindle? That's a couple of $100. If it gets damaged, the parent is liable. At the end of the year, it goes back. Then you know you've got the exact updated curriculum. You're not dealing with a history book that's maybe 8 or 10 years old. I think it's the way to go. And then kids aren't dragging around 30 pounds of textbooks.
Yeah, try more than 30 pounds. I mean, my babysitter comes in. I couldn't even, it's like I broke my toe on her bag. I mean, I was like, what the hell is in here? And she's like, it's chemistry. It was the chemistry book and the physics book. That was so heavy. And, you know, the little Kindles are only $79. I got one for Christmas.
Oh, for crying out loud, even less. That, to me, just makes so much more sense. The kids can sign them out. The district is having to buy books anyway. They might as well just buy these devices, and I just think it's far more practical. I know that our junior high has a bring your own device policy. It was a little controversial, but the kids are actually utilizing them as their daytimers. They put in their assignments. They can go on the school website and check what things are required for the following morning. I don't know. There's two sides to every story, but I can see a few more pluses than negatives on all of these devices for the kids nowadays. We have an awful lot coming up, Sandra, I know, today. And there was something I am thinking that we might... Did we lose you? I was just starting to say we've got a lot coming up today. And I think one thing that I wanted to include was an event coming up on September 7th. We got an email from our good friends down at There and Back Again. This particular event is at Union Station in Worcester, Massachusetts. It is a tribute to our troops, an evening of fun, live music, and dancing as we recognize our national treasures. And it is 6 to 10 p.m., and the tickets are $20. And you can go to There and Back Again, and I'm just making sure that we have the website. I believe it's .com.
Sue Lynch, we had her on maybe a year ago or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
For thereandbackagain.com.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. We'll make sure that we put this on our website so that everyone will have the actual address. It's thereandback-again.org. You'll find all the information, and I think it's a great cause, and it's going to be a rockin' night from the sounds of it.
How fun. Well, you know, Robin, we've got such great guests today. We're bringing back Autumn Arnold. She's our health and fitness coach. She's going to help us with some of our health and fitness, especially in back to school time, which affects a lot of us, and grandparents who have to pitch in when family members are on deployment. Then we're going to welcome Brenda Garth. She is the co-founder and president of Semper Sisters, and she's going to talk about their annual event in October. And then we're going to bring back one of our favorites, Marcella Stretch from PODS, the parents of deployed service members, to talk about birthdays. And you know what, Rob? We have a birthday today. My son, Zach, is turning 6. And you'll probably hear the merriment in the background later on during the show, but he is turning 6 today, and he's been on our show a couple times singing, and I think just singing. I think he was the singing one.
I'm just so loving every stage that your kids are going through. Absolutely loving everyone. Well, we wish him a happy birthday, and I hope that he next week gets to bring cupcakes into school, just because it was a week after his birthday.
Well, you know, we have to do something, but it's so good because Marcella's going to talk about the birthday brigade, and that's just a perfect tie-in with our birthday for Zachy today.
Perfect. There's a lot of groups we have that are listening, and we want to say thank you to everyone who is paying attention to all of our groups, because the groups are growing. And I think this is one of the things that we at Military Mom Talk Radio are just so excited about. And that's the whole point. That was our initial mission, is to be able to network, to bring resources out there. And boy, the two gals that we've got from our two groups are just really, really exciting to talk to. So many resources, so much support, perfect for all our military families.
Well, and I love that they can all get together online. That's the most fun part, because it's like when you feel like it, when you need it, when you feel like participating, you don't have to go anywhere. You just type into a website and there's all your friends waiting for you.
Right. And when there's a question, I know so many times, how do we do this? How do we do that? One question that I saw online, and we'll have to look into it, is that someone was having trouble shipping out an APO, a package to an APO address. So we're going to have to look into that and see if we can make sure that we get a good answer about that. So there's so many. So. Yeah, and you saw some neat cards. We've got 2
I did
minutes
when I was getting stamps today. They have these hero cards that, at least in our post office, that are really made to support the troops, and they were really cute. I liked them.
Cool. And was it just a little how do you do, or was it thinking of you? What kind of card was it?
Yeah, there was like 6 or 8 of them in like a little spinner thing, and some of them had flags on them, some had soldier, some said hero. There was a red, white, and blue one that said hero, and they were really cute. I love that you could pick one of these up here, because that stuff is hard to find, especially if you're outside the post.
Yeah, definitely. And I think so many times they're perfect for someone in the military. You go to find greeting cards, and sometimes they're either too sappy or they're too lovey-lovey, which is wonderful if it's your husband who's deployed or your wife that's deployed. But if you are wanting to send a greeting out, it's really nice that they have something that's perfectly appropriate. So that's really great. We can find them at most post offices, I'm sure. We'll have to take a look, find them. Coming up on our first segment, you said we have Autumn Arnold coming. Is that correct?
We do, our health and fitness coach.
Our health and fitness coach. She's been with us a number of times. And like you say, San, so many times back to school, we're getting all the snacks, we're getting all the kids really psyched, but we really have to get ourselves and keep ourselves in shape and in our discipline. We're going to talk to Autumn after this. More in a moment with Military Mom Talk Radio.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Attention parents and teachers. Here is a series of alarming yet true facts about the current state of teaching reading in the United States. The federal government has spent close to $500 billion to improve reading ability, and yet we still have over 8 million students who cannot read on grade level. 440,000 students who have a total reading vocabulary of 50 words or less, and a national dropout rate of 1 new student every 26 seconds. Sadly, one of these could be yours. Fortunately, it's not too late to help. Introducing The Reading Show with Dr. Joe, a fast-paced, highly informative, easy-to-listen-to show led by nationally recognized reading authority, Dr. Joe Lakovich. For more on Joe on the show, check out his website, failurefreeonline.com. Listen in this week to learn amazingly simple ways to turn this problem around. The Reading Show with Dr. Joe, with your host, Dr. Joe Lakovich, Fridays at 10 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com. Information about book publishing is power. The power to change your authoring life, and the power to change the lives of your readers. So join us for Your Guide to Book Publishing. Everything you want to know but didn't know what to ask. With your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Thursdays at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific on the Rockstar Radio Network. You'll hear about statistics, scenarios, and strategies on what to do now. As the book shepherd, Dr. Judith Briles is in. And each week, she will include publishing professionals that will reveal tips and secrets to the author's journey. If there is a book in you want to listen, learn, and yes, call in with your questions each week. For more on Judith and what she can do for you, check out her website, thebookshepherd.com. It's your guide to book publishing. Everything you want to know, but didn't know what to ask. Brought to you by Author You and The Book Shepherd, with your host, Dr. Judith Briles. Thursday evenings at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and Robin Boyd has had to run off today. She is a juggling working mom, and we're going to bring on Autumn Arnold, and we're going to talk about taking the jiggle out of juggling, because I know, Autumn, I have a really hard time with change, and we're coming up on another change with school starting next week, and it blows my great workout schedule just out the window.
Workout schedule out the window, because not a lot of us really want to do it. We do it because, we need to. It's good for our health. So, yeah, most definitely.
One of the things that happens with me, and I'm sure it happens with a lot of our listeners, is when a change is happening, like somebody's coming home from deployment or somebody's leaving, or like in my case, my dad helps me out for 8 months of the year as a single mother. He comes in October, November. Every single time, our household changes, whether it's because of outsourced things, because of school starting or break or summer or changes in the household, it's stressful. And, the stress makes it really hard to juggle this stuff. How do we put it together? Do we just roll with it, accept that change is part of it? What do you think, Autumn? How do we adjust to this stuff?
Well, life is going to happen regardless of if we want it to or not sometimes. But, for me and my own personal experiences, if I don't have a schedule and I just kind of go by the seat of my pants during the day, I miss all of the things that I was supposed to do for the day, especially for my business, because, I have to be self-accountable, and it's really, really hard for people to be self-accountable. And self-motivated. So if I actually have it right in my schedule, the first thing that I do is I put the kids' schedule in, because obviously that is my number one priority above everything. And then I go through and I put in my business schedule. What are the things I need to do for the day? And, obviously my workouts, and take all the way down to my meals, what time I'm going to be eating, are in my schedule, because I will go the whole day and not eat. And of course, as a wellness coach, that is the number one thing I don't want to do. So everything just goes right in there, and I'm literally looking at my schedule all day, every day, to make sure that I'm getting the things done. And I have to force myself to do a lot of the things that need to be done. So, that's my biggest suggestion to everybody, is get a calendar. You can go to the 99-cent store and pick up any type of organizer calendar and get your day scheduled. And schedule your day the night before. Don't wait until the morning of to schedule your day.
That's so important, Autumn. Every week you're on, you give me something really good, because I use the Franklin Covey system, and I'm a pretty good scheduler. But it's funny, because when you said, put your kids down first, then, basically your priorities. I schedule my whole week. Sunday night, I sit down and I plan for the week. And what I noticed when I looked back in my planner, I put the kids down, I put the work down, but I don't put me down. Like, I don't put my meals or my workout. And by the end of the day, sometimes, Autumn, I forget. It's 6:30 at night, and I'm cleaning up the dinner dishes, and I'm like, crap, I didn't go for my walk today, or I didn't do my sit-ups, or whatever it is. I guess we have to build that fitness right into our day.
Yep. fitness, I always put my personal development. I do 15 minutes of personal development, which is either reading or listening to a book in the morning and in the evening. So it's the first thing I do when I wake up and the last thing I do when I go to bed after the kids are in bed. And if I don't put it in my schedule, a funny thing, I don't do it. So it's important. It's really, really important.
It is. And does everybody struggle with change? I mean, is this a universal thing for parents, for people? I mean, is anybody good at it, or do you just get better at it?
I just think that I think for sure everybody struggles with change, even as simple as, you had a weight loss challenge going on and I was really good at getting my exercise and nutrition program in then, and then the weight loss challenge ended and it changed, something as small as that. They didn't have the motivation. So it's just a matter of learning how to work, around those things. And, even when it comes to loss, I have a client whose, fiance passed away, and she's just been doing, she's been doing really bad, rightfully so. But, life is going to happen, unfortunately. So it's just a matter of, what type of motivation do you have, talking with your friends, and keep, get an accountability partner. That can be a really good way, too. Did you do your workout today? Did you do your workout today? And then you can kind of give each other a little bit of a hard time if you didn't do what you said you wanted to do.
I like the hard time part, because it is. I mean, especially when you have to answer to yourself. I want to talk a little bit too about the mental game. When you talk about your client who lost her fiance, or I lost my mom and gained 25 pounds, and I didn't feel like going to the gym, and I didn't feel like doing anything. It's not like I sat and watched TV and ate chips. I don't even know what I did. It was just kind of a blur. But when we have family members that go on deployment, I noticed in my fitness magazine this month, they had a feature about a mom who got fit on deployment because on the first deployment, she got really fat. So she wanted to get really fit on the second deployment. That kind of time frame can be a good benchmark and give us something to do to keep our minds occupied, because the mental part of it is kind of what I struggle with too, with respect to when my boyfriend is away and he's called away and he has to do his thing, and I'm left without anything to do but watch movies with my kids at night. So, when they have these changes, it's the mental game too that makes it really difficult.
Right. I can't even imagine, because then, they're there and then they're gone again, and they're gone for long periods of time. I haven't experienced that personally, but, it's a mindset. It's like postpartum depression. You need to, the sooner you snap out of it, the sooner, you're going to start feeling better. If you sit around and mope and, you're totally depressed, then the longer it's going to take for you to wake up and, want to do for yourself.
So when you do your personal development stuff in the morning, are you reading fitness stuff? Are you reading wellness stuff? What do you do to motivate yourself through the day?
No. I am reading, right now we have a personal development call, so we read one chapter a week. So I have one particular book that I'm reading right now. It's called The Richest Man in Babylon. I don't know if you've read that one.
Oh.
So it's like financial personal development. It's positive thinking. It's, we're brought up with all of these negativities in our life, like money doesn't grow on trees, and we can't do that right now. And so you have to, transform all that, which goes along with fitness too, and health, because a lot of people are emotional eaters, and it's stuff that happened to them in their past. But if they start really looking towards books, I read a lot of Jim Rohn and Zig Ziglar and Maxwell. Those types of things are going to start changing your thinking, and then everything around you is going to start getting more positive.
You talk about the emotional eater. Whenever I take on a new client, I learn this in my journaling. I run in the kitchen and I have to have a snack. Like, I sign this new client down, and I get afraid. And, for me, I don't eat when I'm happy or when I'm sad. I eat when I'm afraid or I'm nervous. I'm a nervous eater. And to identify those things is really hard when you're when you're in the mix of it. But one of the things that one of the wellness ladies had me do was whenever I felt like an urge to eat or an urge not to work out or, something that was out of the ordinary, she had me write down in a little journal. And all I did was a piece of paper. I didn't use anything formal, what was going on in my life. And I found, after the space of a month that if I had a particularly really long day, I would find myself like craving sweets or carbs. If I had a new client or a big presentation to make or somebody on the radio show that made me really nervous, because that still happens 3 years later. I do get nervous with certain guests, and, finding what our kind of our snack triggers are, or when I think about my mom and I get really sad, I don't feel like working out, walking, or going to the gym. And that was really helpful for me just to identify those triggers.
That's right. And even with the personal development is going to help you, figure those triggers too, because people are just like, I don't know why I don't want to do that, but they don't even take it to that level. They just don't do it. They don't question, why don't I want to work out? Why do I eat like this? And a big thing in my business that helped me was there's the name of the book is No Excuses, which is a really good book, and that one helped me a lot. And it could help in all aspects of life, not just business and health. It could really, make that light bulb shine in their brain to really get them to figure out what is going on.
Yeah, because you're talking about managing your mind. We spend our time with ourselves, in the bathroom, in the bathtub, when we're walking, when we're driving, we're alone with our own thoughts. And I think what you're talking about is managing those thoughts and managing your own mind and saying, okay, I'm not gonna keep going down this road of self-defeating things, or I'm not gonna let fear take over. I'm not gonna let these things. But that takes practice and it takes awareness. And when we come back, when we have you back, Amber, or Autumn, sorry, I knew I was going to do that. When we come back, I would love for you to give us a list of books that you recommend, just from the wellness aspect. And that's what I love about what you do. It's not just working out. It's not just what we eat. It's about the mental game as well. So I want to thank you for being on the air with us today.
Thank you so much for having me again. Always a pleasure.
Yeah, thanks, you guys. And Autumn, what's your website?
It's Autumn at CoachVitality.com is my email address, and I can give you all the information you need and, help guide you and recommend some books for whatever struggles you may be having.
Wonderful. Autumn at CoachVitality.com. When we come back from the break, we're going to welcome Brenda Garth, and she is the co-founder and president of Semper Sisters, which is a nonprofit organization serving women to stand behind and men and women in uniform who serve our nation. So we're going to learn more about Brenda and what she does when we come back from the break. And we want to thank Autumn Arnold, our health and fitness coach, and we'll check in with her again in another month.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Get ready for resources, tools, and support to help you build a successful business and live an awesome life. It's the Women's Business Success Show with your host, founder of the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, Tara McHugh. Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Each show will feature a special guest interview. Tara will bring you highly successful entrepreneurs sharing their stories of success. You'll hear about the challenges they faced along their journey, together with the advice they have to help you achieve more. You'll also hear from various personal and business development experts, sharing tips, solutions, and strategies that you can easily implement into your business and life for amazing results. For more on Tara and her show, check out her website, aofwe.com. Then join us for the Women's Business Success Show with your host, the founder of the Association of Women Entrepreneurs, Tara McHugh. Thursdays at 11 a.m. Central here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Why do I feel so lousy? Why aren't my medications working? Why can't my doctor figure me out? These are just a few of the questions Dr. Kevin Connors will be exploring in Dr. Kevin Connors Live on TogiNet.com. the author of the book, Help My Body Is Killing Me, solving the connections of autoimmune disease to thyroid problems, fibromyalgia, depression, ADD, ADHD, and more. He'll dig into these and many other conditions to dissect the mechanisms of your problems, giving God the glory and looking for answers to make you look and feel better, to make you feel whole again. For more on him, his book, and the show, check out upperroomwellness.com. Never be satisfied with a diagnosis. There is always a reason behind it. And if you can alter the mechanisms that led you down your current path, we can change your future. It's Dr. Kevin Connors, live, here on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and Robin Boyd had to run off to do a training program, just like all moms were juggling work and the show and a birthday party. So if you hear that noise in the background, that is my 6-year-old whose birthday is today. For those of you that missed the earlier half of the show, you can pick us up on iTunes under Military Mom Talk Radio. You can also go to the .com by the same name, which is militarymomtalkradio.com, and pick up our old episodes. We have 3 years in the queue. We've been on the air 3 years. We've got a couple hundred shows that cover everything from PTSD to parenting to workout tips, everything that affects the military family. We can also pick up our shows on TogiNet.com, which is our host station for those of you listening today. We are welcoming Brenda Garth, and she is the co-founder and president of Semper Systems. Brenda, are you with us?
Yes. How are you?
I'm great, thank you. Where are you calling in from?
I live in Port St. Joe, Florida, on the Panhandle. We're what's known as the Forgotten Coast. Oh. We are about 40 miles east of Panama City.
Wow, that's wonderful. I always love to know where our guests are calling in from because they can be all over the globe. So tell me a little bit about Semper Sisters. This is a nonprofit organization, and tell us what you do.
Well, Semper Sisters started out as a group of moms that met while our kids were in basic and boot camp. Not having, necessarily anywhere to go to get answers. So we met online, and it expanded itself to everyone saying, well, let's get together and meet. And I, of course, said, I live in the best place. I'm on the beach. Y'all come here, because we had women from Massachusetts and New York and in various places around the country. So they came here, we networked, we bonded, and decided, we all feel like this. It doesn't matter what branch you're in. We actually happened to start as Marine moms, but it has now encompassed with the nonprofit all branches of the service, and all women, whether you're a mother or you're a wife, a grandmother, an aunt. We have godmothers, we have stepmothers. We're very all-encompassing. And we're really about offering empowerment and support, communication for women to live military, because many people have no military background at all. Learning what we can and probably shouldn't do as we support our kids.
But you're right. When we talk about this on our show, Brenda, and this is one of the reasons that our show does exist, when people sign up for the military, my dad was Navy, Robin's husband served, we all have military families. For those who are not familiar with the way the military works, it's really overwhelming, it's really confusing, and especially if you're, one step away from the service member. You could be an aunt, like you said, a stepmother or a girlfriend, longtime girlfriends. They're, to me, the forgotten sisters.
Very much so.
because all the services are for family members, and they don't have a recognized place in our, in a lot of our military service agencies. But I've got long-term girlfriends who have had their boyfriends 10 years, longer than a lot of marriages.
And that's very true in the military. I grew up military, so my dad was career Air Force, and I married an Air Force Vietnam veteran. And I can tell you from growing up military and being married to someone, it's a whole different ballgame whenever it comes to it being your own child. And as far as with wives, with girlfriends, with our extended families, we have to remember that we're all loving the same service member, whether it's a man or whether it's our daughters or our granddaughters. And so I always say our job is to support and to love them. And in doing that, we need to share that information with everybody. Our kids enlisted. Well, when they enlisted, we got drafted.
That's right. That's right. Everybody goes along with it. Robin always says it's not just, the whole family serves, not just the service member. And it's interesting, you talk about Semper Fi Sisters because, with this war, we have 1 in 5 service members who are female. And that's different than wars in years past where women would, fly maybe a sortie here and there or do a supply run or, support roles. But now 1 in 5 service members are female. That's got to affect your group in a certain way because we don't have a history of sending our daughters off to war.
No, we don't. And I have actually done that. I have 4 children, but one of my daughters served in the Army and went to Afghanistan for a year. And then my youngest son is our active duty Marine, and it's the most unnatural thing in the world for a mom to send your child off to war. One of the things that Semper Fi Sisters does, annually we have a retreat that we call Beach Blast, and although we have a ton of fun, what we also do is we host a very large packing event, and part of our mission is supporting our female troops, and we pack tons and tons and tons of boxes for the women who are serving. And they're serving in all branches, in all capacities, and sometimes people forget about that.
They do. They do.
I know with my daughter, she was a light wheel mechanic. When she got over there, come to find out, she was out on some convoys. And I was a little bit mortified. I said, "What are you doing?" She said, "Well, Mom, you always taught us to volunteer." I did. I was like, "No, that's not really what we had in mind when you were growing up."
I meant you go door to door with a little box for March of Dimes.
That's right.
That's right. Was it? Can I ask you? Was it different with your son and your daughter? I know I have 2 sons. I don't have a daughter, so I can't understand what it's like to have a daughter. But I don't know if my feelings would be the same. I think it would feel more accepted or natural. With my son serving, I think I'd have more fear with my daughter. I don't know why I would, but was it different with the different sexes of your children serving?
No, actually, for me, it wasn't. I was equally proud of actually all 4, but of the 2 that are in the military, and I did not want either one of them to deploy, although I knew that was my new reality. But with our daughter, I had a little sense of peace because I thought, and that's in big quotes, that she would be inside of the wire with her particular MOS or her job.
Yeah.
My son is an infantry Marine. I knew there was no chance of him being inside a wire. He was going to be on the front lines, which is what he was. So I actually, I felt a little bit calmer with her until I learned of this whole little volunteer escapade that she decided to get involved in. And also, that's another thing. America thinks that women are not exposed to combat. And that is, in fact, not the case. Many of my friends, my moms and wives who have loved ones that are female that are, in fact, exposed to combat on a regular basis. So not all of our military in today's world are the nurses or the pilots. They have a variety of jobs supporting everyone.
Or the cooks or the supply people. That's the perception. But if you look at the injury rates, the battlefield injury rates, and you look at how many women are injured, they're not getting injured sitting, in the back, stuffing socks in a duffel.
Exactly.
What do you find is the most compelling reason people come to Semper Fi Sisters?
Well, one, I think it's because we are a circle of support. And when we started this, we kept with Semper Fi, which is a Marine term meaning always faithful. But always faithful sisters in that we're women, as one of us is reaching our hand up to get help from a wife or a mother who's gone before us who can answer our questions. We're also reaching down to help lift up someone else who is coming along behind us. So it continues in a full circle. With Semper Fi Sisters, we have moms and wives who are just going into this. We also have veteran mothers whose sons or daughters have gotten out of the service. They're no longer active duty. We as well have Silver Star women who are mothers and wives, grandmothers, aunts, sisters, and girlfriends even, of wounded warriors or combat injured warriors. And Gold Star, of course, are those whose children have or husbands have given the ultimate sacrifice for their life. And together it becomes just an enormous network of support and love across the United States.
It is. I mean, when you said the Blue Star moms and the Gold Star moms, it just, we pay the ultimate sacrifice with some of our service members, and they are our daughters, they are our sons, they are our husbands and our wives, and in some cases, for some of our listeners, they can be their parents. And it's incredible, the groups that have come forth like yours to support the service members and the people who love them. I just love the way you put that, because that encompasses everybody, the service member and the people who love them. Well, I'm here today. My name is Sandra Beck of Military Mom Talk Radio with Brenda Garth, the co-founder and president of Semper Fi Sisters. If you'd like to check out her group, you can find her at semperfisisters.com. Annually, they have their October Semper Fi Sisters Beach Blast in Gulf County, where they will I guess you're going to handle some boxes and things and seminars, so I'm sure that's on your web. I got to take us to commercial break. Brenda, I want to thank you for coming on the air with us today. I encourage everybody listening to check out again. It's semperfisisters.com. When we come back from the break, we are going to welcome Marcella Stretch, the founder of Parents of Deployed Service Members, which is a huge Facebook support group. If you're not on it, you should be. Check out Semper Fi Sisters. Check out Parents of Deployed Service Members in preparation for Marcella Stretch after the break.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Tune in to the Travel Chick Show with Bonnie Kitohata, Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific here on the Rockstar Radio Network. Bonnie will share with you an hour of travel ideas, experiences, adventures, and tips from her guests. Topics range from local day trips to international excursions. From organized professional vacations to spur-of-the-moment getaways. For fun or business, groups or solo, by bus, car, plane, train, boat, bike, hike, or horse. You'll also hear about travel-related subjects like cultures, travel photography, keepsakes, and more. Whether you love to travel yourself or you enjoy seeing the world vicariously through others, join us and enjoy travel stories from around the U.S. and around the world. For more information on The Travel Chick Show, check out Bonnie's website, thetravelchick.com. Then join us for the show, The Travel Chick Show, live Mondays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time, with your host, Bonnie Kitohara, here on the Rockstar Radio Network.
What time is it? It's MILF and Cookies time. Join the rowdy and fun world of Shannon and Amy, two moms I'd like to Facebook, and catch a glimpse of these two best friends as they enjoy their MILF status and devise ways to keep it. They, along with their special guests, will happily reveal their best-kept secrets on how to feel beautiful from the inside out. Some of the fun segments include Happy Hour with Skinny Girl Margaritas, Confessions of a Bad Eater, Making Your Own Money is So Hot, Tips for keeping your milk status. And don't forget the cookies. We're still moms after all. And best friends are like a good brawl. They never leave you hanging. Shannon represents the ladies in their 40s and is also a woman who came into her cool status late in life after a good long run with a glee club. Amy, on the other hand, is walking the 30 set and as a high school cheerleader has pretty much been cool her whole life. Hook up with hosts Shannon and Amy every Thursday evening at 9 p.m. Central for MILF and Cookies here on the Rockstar Radio Network.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and the Statue of Liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Military Moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here on Military Mom Talk Radio. Our guests today have been Autumn Arnold, our health and fitness coach. We talked to her a little bit about how to stay in shape and take the juggle out of jiggling all that we have to do, or take the jiggle out of the juggle. I don't know. I'm just gone crazy over here. We've also had Brenda Garth, the co-founder of President and Semper Sisters. So you check her out at semperfisisters.com. And when I think of gold stars coming on, I have to think of Marcella Stretch, because not only do we have so much fun, but her Facebook group, which is PODS, the Parents of Deployed Service Members, is growing in leaps and bounds. Every time I sign on, all I see is Marcella Stretch approves another new member. You guys have exploded onto the internet.
Yes, we have. And it's all because of you and other people and other members that are, spreading the word, which is a good thing.
It's a great thing. Marcella, for those listening today who don't know what to expect from PODS, which is found on Facebook, you guys have to go to facebook.com, put a profile up if you don't have already, and then ask to join Marcella's group, and she will grant your wish if you are fit the criteria. What do people do on PODS, Marcella? Why is it so popular?
I believe it's so popular because majority of our parents are going through deployments, and this is the only group that's geared to deployments or pre-deployment and even post-deployment, but deployment is our main focus right now, to help these parents to get through those 9 or 12 months that their sons or daughters are going through deployment. We're there to answer their questions, to assist them, to hold their hand if they need a hand or a shoulder to lean on. So we're there for them.
From what I can see, from the cheap seats watching the threads go through, everybody goes through some of the same stuff. I won't say that everybody goes through everything the same way or at the same time or in the same order. But what's amazing is when somebody puts a post up, Marcella, about, like what should my kid bring to basic, or, some real basic question, there's 60 or 70 people that come in to answer that question, and you get so much great information.
Yes, you do. And the members are so awesome, because now I don't have to spend a lot of time answering questions. I just let the other members do all the answering, and they are awesome.
Yeah, I think it's great. I see everybody chipping in and pitching in and sharing information in a way that in any other war or police action or anything was not possible, without these internet groups. So I just want to tell you how proud I am of you and of the people and the members, the administration of Parents of Deployed Service Members, because I think it's an outstanding resource. And anybody who is involved with having a service member as their child needs to be part of this group. There's just so much great information. And you came up with Battle Buddies turned into Battle Parents, and now you got a new one for me, and it has to do with birthdays. So tell me what you do.
Yes, that's called the Birthday Brigade. We call ourselves the Birthday Brigade because what we do is I maintain a list of every troop who parents submit their information to me who's having a birthday. And what I do is I email that list out to all the volunteers that would like to send out a card or a note, to that troop. And when those troops receive those cards from us, they be like, Ma, I receive cards from people from all over the United States. They're just so, so happy and thrilled. And then sometimes the mailroom people say, you received so many cards, I couldn't even get them in your box.
Wow, really?
Yes. I thought that was just awesome. And then they were like, who do you know? You're so popular.
Well, that's what everybody wants to be on their birthday. It's the one day a year we can look in the mirror and go, hey, I'm all right. I'm loved. I'm this, I'm that. So to participate in that, how do you do it? What do you guys do? How does it work?
It works like this. I put out a message at least twice a month to the whole group and say, will your troop be having a birthday within the next, 30 or 60 days? If so, private message me the information so I can add him or her to our list. And once I add them to the list, I email the list out at least twice a month.
Wow. And that just has to blow their minds.
Yes, it does. And just to hear the stories. Yes, to hear the stories that the moms post back to say, guess what? My son said he got all these cards, and he wants to ask me, how do I know all these people? Or where do these people come from? And they just, so delighted just to read all the cards that they receive. And it just brightens up their day, and I think it really, really helps them through that deployment phase.
That is amazing. And Dot to Dot, who's logged into our chat, just said, I just sent off 12 more birthday cards to our loved one. Wow. That is so much fun. So much fun. And you know what, Marcella, I'm gonna give you one step further for your birthday brigade. I like to encourage our parents of especially elementary school age children with the drawings and the artwork that these kids come home with. They come home with so much stuff, Marcella, these days. And I like to fold it in half and write a note on the inside. And then not only do the service members get, a note from me, or in this case, part of the birthday brigade could be, to send a birthday card, but they can either include the little drawings or you can fold them in half and make a custom birthday card. And we live near Edwards Air Force Base, so there's no shortage of kids drawing pictures of rockets and, cars and tanks and, or just butterflies and sunsets if you're,
right.
If you're the girl.
I did the same thing. I did the same thing. I have a nephew that's in elementary school, and what I did was for his art teacher, I brought the supplies for him. And I said, if I give you all these supplies, do you think your students can make my son a birthday card? Because he was the first member of PAWS to receive the birthday cards from the brigade, and he was turning 21 years old. Oh, so he was like the first soldier to receive cards.
That is so great. That is so great. And Marcella, so you could also, I run our Boy Scout troop for my one son's group, and we make Christmas cards. So we could have the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts, and Robin's and big with the Girl Scouts, making birthday cards as part of their troop activities. So anybody listening today who participates in the Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts, you're looking for a fun activity, how cool would it be for them to make some handmade birthday cards?
Excellent.
Wow.
And they can get in touch with me through PAWS, and I will be able to, reach back to them. And
so when these, if That's for people who want to volunteer to send out
Right.
cards.
You know what they can do? They can private message me on Facebook if if they have a Facebook account. And, that's just looking up Marcella Stretch. And I should be the only Marcella Stretch on Facebook.
The one and only.
Yeah.
Now, what about if your son or daughter has a birthday coming up? Like I look in the chat here, I think, is it Geo? Is that right? Who's December? What do we have? Geo's birthday is December 2nd. So how would Geo's mom go about getting her son or daughter, if it's a daughter or son, into the birthday brigade?
In the beginning of November, that's when I'll start requesting December birthdays. So I don't like to get them too early because a troop can change addresses. They can change fobs or cobs, things like that. So I don't like to get them too early. So 30 to 60 days is, the earliest I'll take them.
Yeah, that makes sense because everybody's on the move. So 30 days prior to a birthday would be a good time to let you know, and then you can put it out into the group, and then they can just take it and run with it.
That's correct.
So what's one of the best stories that you've had with pods? Like, you've had so many achievements, so many, benchmarks. Is there something that sticks out in your mind that just gives you a chuckle?
What I enjoy about pods is when I hear the stories or read the stories about pods actually meeting each other in person. They find out, my son is coming back home the same time your son, let's meet up at Fort Hood or Fort Bragg. And they're constantly having these, impromptu meetings, if it's only 3 or 4 people.
How
and then
fun is
they'll
that?
take pictures and then they'll post it back to us and say, we finally met,
That is awesome. So people are making friends and probably making lifelong friends. I know that the people that I get involved with, I tend to hold on real tight when they are affiliated with things that are near and dear to my heart. And Marcella, a caller named Carrie, wants to thank you because she personally sent a package to Carrie's son, and she is very thankful. So there is... Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Oh, there we go. I said a caller named Carrie wants to thank Marcella because she personally sent a package to Carrie's son, and she's very thankful. I'm sorry, I must have had some technical difficulties. But right there was Pods in action, supporting each other and supporting the sons and daughters serving overseas. How does it feel, Marcella, to run this group? I mean, did you ever think that it would be what it is today?
No, I didn't. And we started the group. We're coming up on our anniversary next month. I think it's September the 29th. It'll be 3 years for us.
Wow. We just got another call in that says, thanks to Marcella, because so many Fort Lewis moms have met, and we have our Fort Lewis family site. So here's the thing, guys. You just have to go to Pods. Get a Facebook account. It's not scary if you don't have one. If you're, over the age of 30 and you don't have a Facebook account, you're not alone. So sign up, and the first thing you should do is head to Pods. Marcella, I want to thank you for being with us today. It's always a joy. It's so much fun to have you. I'm so proud of what you do with Pods, along with your administrators and the group of people that is affiliated with it. Today we had Brenda Garth, the co-founder and president of Semper Fi Sisters. You can check her out at semperfisisters.com. Again, Marcella can be reached at Facebook under Parents of Deployed Service Members if you want to learn more about battle parents or the Birthday Brigade. And Autumn Arnold, she is our health and fitness coach. She can be reached at autumn@coachvitality.com. She's a single mom with 2 kids, lost 40 pounds, been keeping it off. God bless all of you, and have a great holiday weekend. We will be off the air next week and coming back after the holiday weekend.